so we have a gold Tracer VOD. I believe we also play some Soldier, but I think we're going to mostly be focusing on Tracer here. Okay, you're taking too long. I can tell you that right now. With your comp, there's no reason for you not to be in the back line. And so by going this slow, if you kind of look at where you're playing right now, how close you are to your Ryan and stuff, you're kind of playing as like a bad McCree. And so, like, real quick, if you're to break that down, you can break down all DPS heroes into like a couple different play styles. One is kind of like the general McCree play style, and that's where you kind of play with your team, help break shields, help flashbang anyone that gets too close. You can go in when it's like time to finish a kill, or you can stay back a safe range by your team to help protect them, even against like certain dives and stuff like that. The second play style would kind of be the flanking play style. You can do that on Sombra, Tracer, Genji. Those are the ones you can really do it effectively on. Yes, you can flank on McCree. Yes, you can flank on Widow. Yes, you can flank on any hero in the game, but they don't generally play the flanking play style. And then kind of the last general play style is the sniping play style, where you're kind of far back, usually not playing too close to your team, usually trying to get a different sight line, not usually a flank but a different sight line. And most DPS and most play styles can fall into those, and so those are really great just general terms to describe the way you're playing. Obviously, not like a Bastion sitting on point does not necessarily fit any of those, but most DPS can be classified as one of those. Tracer obviously cannot play this, and some DPS can play multiple of those styles depending on how you want to play. Tracer obviously cannot play the sniper playstyle. So from there you have kind of the McCree playstyle, which is going to be kind of right around your team, hanging out with them, and then the flanker playstyle. And right now you are playing like a bad McCree. So you are staying way too close to your team. Their backline has absolutely no pressure from you. And really, like, you could be more effective on almost any other hero if this is the playstyle you want to play. So I would want to see you go a little bit differently here. I wouldn't want to see you staying anywhere near your Rhine. Not a bad stick. Not 100% confident that you knew she was going to be there. I feel like you were just a little bit stressed out from the brig. But, all's well that ends well. We're still very frontline. One great way for Tracers to practice and get better is if you play a game, 2, 3, 4, unlimited games like this, where your intention is to never, ever, 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 ever be in front of your enemies. It can really help you learn how Tracer is supposed to play and how you're able to play. Like, if you were doing that all game, exactly what you just did, you would be having a great time. Instead, you're kind of by the point, going up there to contest the Genji. Like, they don't need you on point, you're just wasting time. So now we've walked back and forth. It's been 15 seconds since we killed Diana, and we did nothing during that 15 seconds at all. So much better. Please just stay back here. You don't need to go. You don't need to go to the cart. Look where you're standing now. You actually play kind of well in the backline, but you spend a large amount of time out of the fight because of the flanks that you take. And that's going to be one of the biggest issues that you're having right now.
Got Tor's behind us upstairs.
Cool, just stay here. If you need to jump down to get a kill, do it, but don't jump in front of them. Otherwise, just stay here. Farm the Rhine, farm your pulse bomb. Make your team's life easy. Why are we coming all the way back to cart? You were in a cool spot. Maybe why don't you just go to, say, the Mega on the left side and hang out over there? They have healers that died towards the end, so they're going to be coming back. Torb can't chase you. If you run away, McCree can't chase you. He's a threat to you up close. Same with Brig. Brig can't really chase you if you're running away. Again, she's a threat up close. But now you're playing by your team again. Spending so much time out of the fight. Think maybe you could have even just farmed that turret real quick for your team? Because no one's been able to kill it yet. It's right below you. 2 clips. That's if it's full health. You are allowed to just stand there for a minute until your team is kind of ready to fight again. Instead, this like long fight where you kind of dove the turret was super weird, and you could have gotten yourself staggered so easily. I would have just waited there for the 5-10 seconds until my team was ready to go again, and then I would have engaged on their backline when my team started to get close. I mean, I want to say it feels bad, that we died to the McCree there, but it wasn't totally unexpected. And the best thing that we can do there is kind of walk slowly around corners where we know that the McCree might be, hug the like left side of that wall to try and make sure that you're out of his flashbang range. Maybe take a different route if we think there's a chance the McCree might be there, but not the end of the world would happen there. So a Torb that has mad armor and just got the sound barrier. Do you really think that should be your target right there? Or do you think maybe you could have helped your team who was farming the Winston? But instead the Winston's still alive in your backline and got the tank. Or one of your tanks. You are one of the main sources of damage for your team right now. And I see no reason for you to be farming an armored Torb with sound barrier alone. Ooh, yikes. Something a lot of Overwatch players struggle with, because it's not something that's common in Overwatch, is object permanence. So like Torb's ult, like Junkrat Trap, things of that nature. And a lot of Overwatch players really struggle to forget that they're still there, that they weren't destroyed, whatever exactly. And so that's just got to be something we got to ingrain in our minds. We know that Torb had just thrown his ult. We know that Torb's ult does not go away that fast, and so we need to kind of remember not to blink that direction. You're looking for your pulse bomb, but you can still shoot there, and you can try and make sure that you're pulse bombing someone that's actually gonna die. Pulse bombing a Zarya, or near a Zarya, is almost always one of the worst choices, because one little bubble stops your entire ultimate. And in that case, you got blocked by a big bubble, a Winston bubble. And just little things there, even like towards the start of that fight, you were up by the turret. If you could have maybe just farmed the turret real quick, your team may have had a better time. And not that it's impossible, but Torb is still one of your worst targets as Tracer. So let's do our best not to try and focus the Torb.
I think we can hold him back further than that.
Lucio's still a good target for you.
Hard point to
when Winston goes towards your team, he's still a really good target for you.
Here.
So it's Torb coming up top again. You think we're gaining too much where we are right now? Or do you think that we kind of waited 20-ish seconds just to end up where we could have been the entire time anyway? Because I think that we kind of stood there for no reason or very little reason. Even if an enemy rounded that corner, they have very easy escapes. You were past the point where you could have hit tab to see their comp. I don't agree with you being there at all. There's just very little that you're going to gain out of there. And the most common thing that's going to happen is like a Widow will like hook on bridge or something. And you'll shoot a couple shots at the Widow and then they'll already be pocketed by the healers. And then you just kind of fed. And because we waited so long to engage there, and that was partially our fault because we were in a bad position to engage, our team only got one fight there, which is unlucky because first point on this map is really strong. Gotta pick a target and commit to it here. Yeah, so I was curious kind of what happened to your team here because I saw there wasn't much time left of the match. Unfortunately, I think it's super obvious. I think that, and again, I did mention this earlier, not that you would know this, you can't hear me quite yet, but Zarya is a terrible pulse bomb target. Terrible. Only time you should ever pulse bomb Zarya is if you know she doesn't have a bubble. But your team's kind of getting farmed by this turret. I don't know if you've noticed. And then they're also getting farmed by a Genji. So maybe, there you go, McCree. So maybe we could go to something where we could help with both of those.
Come on, guys. Just this Genji. Oh, it's only the Genji we need to shop. Stop.
Cool. Cool. So why are we not trying to help our Brig, who is a couple inches behind you? Literally right over here, getting farmed by a monkey. You could flashbang that monkey to help her. You could fan the hammer that monkey. Instead, we're, yep, there's our Brig now dead. And the monkey's still just fine. Oh, and the monkey had another kill too. When we could have fixed that from the start. But we kind of walked right past the monkey there just to go feed on point.
Monkey top left, or top right, sorry. Lois.
Any reason you really want to be this close against a monkey and a Genji? Yes, this is an arbitrarily good spot that you're standing on, but it also makes it really easy for Monkey and Genji to kill you. The Monkey jump plus melee damage plus the Genji dash damage is pretty much all your health right off the bat.
Oh my gosh. Alright, we pushed up way too far right there.
Now Soldier McCree Diva Monkey generally is going to have a rough time like spawn camping, and so that's not, you know, maybe what we should have done there. Now admittedly, if you just left your team to do it, they would have been throwing anyway, but still would have maybe had a better time if we would have stayed back.
Monkey, you need to go on the point and stall.
Super unfortunate. Definitely some different things to work on. I'm not even going to get too much into your McCree because this was 90+% tracer. And there's plenty to work on the tracer. So if you focus on, you know, staying in the back line, committing to a target, making sure your pulse bomb targets are correct, and recognizing, you know, what's farming your team. If you just start focusing on your tracer first with the tips that I've given you in here and the advice that we looked at in here, I think that you'll start having a much better time right off the bat anyway.